Hello everybody and welcome back to Fallout 4's second expansion. In today's episode we're probably going to actually start filling in the sort of downstairs area. I know where I'm going to put the cages. I have some pretty cool ideas that I want to just sort of get across to you guys when we actually start getting into building stuff. Because I have decided that we're going to have a control center style thing up here, which is going to have connections from either side, and then there's going to be like a staff bit around the back. That whole thing needs to be sort of thoroughly thought through before we actually start doing anything with it. I've messed around with a whole bunch of mods. Like, I've literally just spent like the past 3 or 4 hours fixing and getting mods to work. No longer got settlement supplies extended. I have got homemaker and alternate settlements working. Settlement keywords is a bit weird, but essentially different mods installed. And essentially a whole bunch of different resources we didn't have before for building. And also I did a little bit of work off camera, because I essentially had an idea of laying this sort of entrance area out as sort of more like if you were going to an actual arena, like in the modern day, to go and like watch some sort of show or something. You generally have like an intro? The fuck is that? You usually have an entry of some description, and then you have like a ticket booth and like a food stall and stuff, and then there's also this sort of area here I built, which is just for sort of waiting for your shows to start, essentially, like a sort of communal area which is going to have seating and stuff in it. I also sort of walled off this bit because this is going to be for like staff only, essentially. And then around here obviously we're going to have these sort of smaller fights, and I've worked out what we're actually having in those smaller fights. Probably going to end up having sort of ghouls and, oh, it's a thingy. I forgot what that's called. Institute Mindstorm thing, which is like a really rare event, I think, with the nuclear weather mod. But yeah, around here we're going to have like staff sort of entrance, so this side might still be used for something, and I might have to sort of make a way around for this, I don't know yet. But most of this area is going to be used for sort of staff stuff. As you can see by the nice signs I put up here, which says staff, obviously, and then it has these signs here. Also, I've worked out with the use of place everywhere, there's actually a couple shortcuts with F2 and F1, which disables snapping to objects, so you can actually move stuff really precisely and not have any of these like awkward gaps that we had before, essentially. Also, it allows me to line up things more, as I said, precise than they were before. Obviously that's not exactly perfect, but it's getting there. So we can actually sort of build more how I want to build, as opposed to with the awkward snapping that Bethesda has given us, which is equally awkward and useful. It generally depends upon what you're actually doing. But all of this bit in here is pretty much exactly the same. Like I said, also we can move that around a little more, so it's not quite as sort of in the way because of this new shortcuts. I think F1 and F2, yeah, okay. So then we can actually shrink this into the floor slightly. It's something I've seen different people use, because it sort of keeps it out of the way, and it doesn't actually look too bad, but you need to keep that wire visible, from what I know, to still allow access. But yeah, in here we're going to start putting down the cages. I think what we're going to have in here is probably 2 cages either side, and then have the sort of, obviously, the entrance for the obviously staff members to restock with cages and stuff, and then we're probably going to have contestants up here. But we may also have traps and different things in here, different sort of pressure plate triggered events, so anything could happen, essentially. That's the whole idea. That's sort of the one thing I want to get across in here, is this, that the fights won't necessarily just be rigged upon, oh, that guy's a Deathclaw, that guy's not a Deathclaw, the Deathclaw's going to win. You know, I want there to be at least a chance for both sides to win. So, like I said, Deathclaw cage is probably going to go just here, I think. Oh, okay, that's just how cages work. Yada yada yada. Essentially, they need power. That's the main thing. You need to power them up. I think, can I just pick something off the mall rack? There we go. Yeah, that's how you fix the slow movement thing. I also learnt that. You fix the slow movement thing by picking up an object. And I think we might have on my alert. or if there's something more interesting here, maybe that instead. I don't know, I think we're going with... Oh, is there a red scorpion? Red scorpion, I think? I don't know. If you guys want these cages to be changed, do you think red scorpion or Malak about it? You know, just sort of let me know down below and I'll change them out, because I'm going to end up getting suggestions, because I want to post like a few different sort of matches here. I already have a sort of idea of what the first match is going to be, and you guys will find out what that is obviously when it happens, as opposed to me just sort of spoiling things for you. But we're going to get these cages nice and precisely lined up. Or did I just build another cage like inside the wall or something? Yeah, probably. I'll fix that. It's fine. But yeah, we're going to get these cages nicely lined up so they actually make sense where they are, as opposed to just being kind of weird. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I put a cage outside. Should have left the door open. Where is it? Oh. These walls are going to be a slight issue, aren't they? Let's just move that there. Oh. Where is it? Oh. Well, it's in the floor. That's good to know. Unless that was the scorpion cage I just put down, in which case I just fucked up. But oh well. We'll find out when we go back inside. Turn those back on. There we go. But yeah, F1 and F2... Okay, it wasn't that. Cool. F1 and F2 are the triggers that, you know, enable or disable those. Just for you guys to have some sort of reference back if you're using or trying to build the same sort of thing. If you're using Place Everywhere, I think is what the mod's actually called. Anywhere was the original one that used like the cheat engine, which was a bit dodgy. But anything using the cheat engine tends to be, well, you know, that's just how it is. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to link the power up to the control center, which I don't know, maybe I didn't say that. But essentially the power is going to link up to the control center, which will be, roughly, it's going to be pretty close to where I am now. I just need to place this as high up as possible. There we go, that'll do. But yeah, there's going to be essentially a walkway that comes out here, and it's going to hold a pod in the middle, and that pod will be where the switches are, which control the cages, which are behind me. Those which will, when you turn the power on, it activates the cages and lets whatever was in it out, which is obviously going to be the Red Scorpion and the Mylok. Obviously, not Mylok. Red Scorpion and Deathclaw, which will probably be named, which you guys can suggest names if you want to. If you want a specific named creature, or you want a creature named after you, you know, just let me know and I'll see if I can get it in. But yeah, the power's going to link up to these things. Cool, there we go. And then once there is a switch turning the power on to them, these will close, and then after so long a creature will spawn in them. And then that's how you capture different things. You don't actually have to go out into the waste and capture them or anything. Although I don't know if that would be cooler or not. Maybe. I think I can't actually remember what the resources it is to required. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't remember what the resources required are for the different pieces. Like, I think all of them require some form of egg or something to that effect, essentially. I don't remember what it is for any of them, because as you can probably tell by the fact I have infinite amount of resources, I have God mode on. Also, I'm pretty sure I turned it on at the start of the video. So, yeah. But that's so I have infinite resources, because this is, as I said before, just a blank save, so I don't actually have anything on it. Although the character is like level 5,000 or something. It's a, you know, weird-ass god save I found on the Nexus, just so I had a blank Starlight Drive in, because if you didn't already know, on the channel I have an entire build based here, which was a sort of cool floating house thing up there, which I might actually go back to add some extra stuff that I've found, just to sort of add some sort of supports and things to that, because I'm not, like, when I go back there any other time to do anything, I always sort of look up and see the giant floating house, and it's a bit weird that it's just, you know, giant floating house. So, you know, I might go back and add supports to that, and that might make its own video of me doing that. Is that attached? Yeah, okay, cool. That's the power line set up. Obviously we need to actually build the control pod which will have the switches in. I think we'll actually start doing that now, but since I'm going to mainly just be building for that bit, I think I might do that as a time lapse, so you guys will see that very shortly.